Hey y'all, and welcome to Politbro. My name is Brian, and young Kim gives Jamie Raskin more than just a piece of her mind. She gives him a dose of reality of what socialism truly is, and his refusal to denounce is just weird. Let's dive in.
By defining essential democratic public programs as socialist and claiming that socialism inevitably leads to Stalinist communism and social collapse, these plutocrat Republicans are plainly working to undermine the living standards of the working class majority of America and rip up the social fabric of the country. Meantime, President Trump's heroes and best friends in the world are communist dictators. If House Republicans really want to oppose the promotion of socialist ideology, why don't they write a letter to President Trump and condemn his worship and admiration of Stalinist dictator Kim Jong-un of North Korea? Quote, "We have a unique relationship and a very special friendship." Former KGB officer Vladimir Putin, who said that the collapse of the Soviet Union was the greatest catastrophe of the 20th century. Of him, Trump says, Putin, very smart. Will he become my new best friend? And what about the chief of the Chinese Communist Party, President Xi? Trump describes him as a brilliant man. He's got the look, the brain, the whole thing. President Trump has no problems with the actual horrors of communism today, like the Chinese government's massive human rights violations against the Uyghurs, the Tibetans, and political dissenters in their country. Quote, well, he's a brilliant guy. He controls 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. Or how about Vladimir Putin's persecution and poisoning of human rights and anti-corruption activists like Alexei Navalny? Of him, Trump says, I don't know exactly what happened there. We haven't had any proof yet, but I'll take a look. I'm voting no on this pathetic, disoriented resolution, which is divorced from reality and drenched in right-wing ideology. It will only serve to accelerate MAGA's attempts to defund the essential social programs that are central to American democracy, that were built by the American people, like Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, which they call socialism, but which serve our people. Thank you for yielding, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields. The lady from California is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. It's such an honor to stand here to strongly support the House Concurrent Resolution 9. As a Korean American who grew up in the aftermath of the Korean War, I have witnessed the horrors of socialism firsthand. I always say, if you want to see the difference between socialism and freedom, just look at the Korean Peninsula at night. South Korea shines with opportunity. North Korea is trapped in darkness. Time and time again throughout history, socialism has led to disaster, starvation, imprisonment, and the death of over 100 million people worldwide. My own family lived those horrors. My mother-in-law risked her life crossing the DMZ lines multiple times to rescue loved ones from the North Korean regime. To this day, tens of thousands of Korean families remain separated by a system that tears apart communities and crushes basic human dignity. Now more than ever, as socialist ideas gain traction here at home, and as our nation's largest city and financial capital has elected not just a socialist, but a communist as mayor, we must firmly demand our capitalist free market system, which empowers Americans of all backgrounds to achieve freedom, opportunity, and prosperity. I know what America represents because I remember my first glimpse of freedom as a young girl, looking up, wide-eyed, as U.S. soldiers tossed candy from their trucks. In the communities that I lived, today, as one of the first Korean-American women to serve in Congress, that freedom tastes just as sweet.
Gentlelady's time has expired.
I yield the gentlewoman 30 seconds.
Stories like these can only happen in America. As a member of Congress, I will always fight for the American dream and for our free market system that keeps it within reach for everyday Americans. Thank you, and I yield my time.
You know, it should be really easy to denounce something as insipid and stupid as socialism. After all, only you can prevent socialism. And of course, Jamie Raskin can't do it. So the question is why? Why is he refusing to say, hey, you know what? Socialism sucks. I'll sign my name to this House resolution. It's not a binding thing at all. It has nothing to do with actual legislation. It's basically saying that the folks on the congressional floor say we do not like communism. We don't like socialism. Okay, that should just roll off your back, right? Right, Jamie? No, they can't. They don't want it to, and they can't. Because deep down, Democrats love the control of capital. They love to control the flow of money. They love, well, simply put, control. They love more bureaucracy, which increases the amount of money you actually need to start a business. It increases the amount of time you need to start a business. And then it just makes it easier for corporations to eat up all available space and ultimately eat the middle class out of house and home. This is why Democrats' cities are so stratified. There's the wealthy people that pay all the taxes, and then there's the working poor. Hey, y'all. About half this country has high blood pressure. And with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, that means you are going to be sitting across from people that you love that are likely affected by it. Some might not know it, some might not talk about it, but that's why this is the perfect moment to take charge of your health or help someone else with theirs. Go to 120life.com. That's 120life.com and use my code BRAWL for 20% off. Try it risk-free for 2 weeks. And if your blood pressure doesn't come down, you're going to get a full refund. So there's nothing to lose except your high blood pressure numbers. So use code BRAWL for 20% off of your order today. This is why they deep down love socialism. This is why they decide that, you know what, we're going to side with the mega corporations. We're going to side with big pharma. We're going to side with the hospitals, all designed to put you through the ringer of red tape and make it easier for them to make profits. Democrats will talk about until they're blue in the face that they stand up for social programs. Well, if you open up the economy, we likely wouldn't need those social programs at all. It should be that kind of thinking that leads you away from the Democrat Party, but if you dare question them for a moment, they will turn on you like a pack of wild coyotes. And not Wile E. Coyote, might I add, although it feels like that's the kind of candidate that Democrats keep on running when they bring out Jamie Raskin. But there's an idea here that the Democrats don't really understand. And a lot of Republicans don't understand it either. And this is why when Democrats leave the Democrat Party and become Republicans, they see through the charade. They finally realize, wait a minute, these policies are nuts. For instance, Governor Tim Walz quite literally looking the other way as his state is quite literally defrauded by billions. Okay, I think the total was about $1 billion. By migrants who are gaming the system. You'd think that these policies would require some sort of change, but they don't do that. Because when Democrats leave the party, it's because of policy. When Republicans leave the party, it's because they want to feel better about themselves. They want to be a part of the in-group. They want to be a part of the high and mighty rich white liberal circles. And that's why the Democrats are the way they are. They cater everything to the whims and ideals of rich white liberals in order to feel better about themselves. The consequences do not matter because they don't have to live with them. Quite literally, that is the entire deal. That's how the Democrat Party works, ladies and gentlemen. At the local level, it can be a little bit different. There can be people that break the mold. I hype up John Fetterman when I need to, because there's times when he's absolutely right. Meanwhile, people like Jamie Raskin are going to look at communist systems and go, hey, that's a really good thing. And in the meantime, instead of saying, hey, socialism good, they're talking about how Trump has dared to change the entire narrative on how to deal with hostile foreign powers like Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, and Xi Jinping. I mean, browbeating them is just working wonders, right? It worked so well for Ukraine during the Biden years, right? It worked so well that Xi Jinping was called exactly what he deserved, right? Make it make sense. Being mean-spirited to your enemies, that's great when you need it for propaganda. When you actually have to deal with them, guess what? You're gonna have to address them by their titles. Okay? They get prickly over that sort of stuff. That's how they got there. You've got to play with the hand you're dealt. And the weird thinking that Americans don't have to play by the same rules doesn't work. And that's why President Trump talks the way he talks to these other leaders, because it seems like it yields slightly better results. I am willing to change a few things if it's going to mean a better outcome. Wouldn't you? That's like saying that if I could lose 5 pounds by removing this one thing that I don't even really like out of my life, I'm going to do it. It should be that simple. But it's not to Democrats, because they love their ideals of socialistic policies, they love their heavy-handed bureaucracy, they love their weird rhetoric, and it's all because it placates the minds of rich, white liberals like Jamie Raskin. And it does not matter that young Kim here is talking about the literal disaster of North Korea. It does not matter to them, because facts do not care about feelings, and therefore feelings also do not care about facts. That's the truth of the matter. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.